You can't argue with logic.
Yes, what's up, good people? God is amazing. God is amazing. I hope everyone is feeling blessed, is in a blessed moment right now. And thanks for watching. Now, for the past 2 years, I've been talking about how this is a corporation, right? This world we are designed to live in by man. It is a corporation, therefore it runs on corporate time. Hence, your jobs, 9 to 5. Now they came out with the evening shift, now the night shift, and it's all according to the corporate calendar of the corporate world. Not God's time. Not God's time, but for the past 2 years, I've been talking about how we are not on God's time. We are way off. And you could thank man for that. Okay? It's like, people still think that we came from a gastric explosion and we're living the way we are through animals, apes, fish, tadpoles, dinosaurs, cavemen, and all that stuff, And God himself came and asked the Illusionary, who controls everything on earth. God came and asked them for a job. Anything you want me to do? Illuminati said, yeah, you can do this, you can do that, you can do a little bit of this. You can give some people some hope. And then go back up there above the sun. Now the sun is 93 million miles away, right? So now that is pushing God away from us. They say, oh, well, God can't hear me. He's 94, 93, 90 million miles away. When that is not the truth. Here is the real calendar and the real reason why we know God exists. And this is corporate time. They messed everything up. And I am so glad that I am awoke to see that. March, spring starts every year. That is New Year's. We've been living in a paganistic system, living our lives in Satan's plans. No more.
Pigment, look at that. This is from a Catholic PhD. You see? All right. There was a distinct break between the Old Testament requirements dealing with the Sabbath worship. They, Rome, wanted to show that Christianity was distinct from Judaism. The other thing that we should remember too is that our calendar that we follow, including the Seventh-day Adventists, that's another group, is not only a calendar that was devised by the Catholic Church, but also it is a calendar that's based upon the solar year and not the lunar year. The Jewish Hebrew calendar that was observed in the time of Messiah follows a lunar calendar. So the great irony is that even the Seventh-day Adventists and the Hebrews that's following the law themselves are not worshiping on exactly the same Sabbath day as the Hebrews in the time of Christ, because it is several days off. All right, that was just for some that needed more proof, but I think that...
Yeah, man. Thanks, Omar. It's my pastor right there. We can give them as much proof as we want. but they're just dealing with the injection of the cartoons that we all dealt with as children. And some people, it's hard for them to get away from it. It's hard for people to get away from what is very easy to them.
This is Spiral Galaxy NGC 3982. What a gorgeous, naturally occurring object in our universe. Well, I mean, it ends up being gorgeous after all this work. And that's true of pretty much every photo you've ever seen of space. They're all photoshopped to perfection. And I'm sure you're wondering why they do it. But the methodology behind how they do it is just as, if not even more interesting than that. Okay, so the most important thing to get out of the way here is that none of these photos are fake. According to the space agencies that took them, they're just interpretations of our reality. These interpretations, however, are edited as NASA, the ESA, the Canadian Space Agency, and most, if not all other space agencies, Photoshop the images they take of the universe around us. While the term photoshopping bears a lot of negative connotations, like models getting airbrushed to perfection or people faking experiences they never had, this is not the case with space.
Everything you get from NASA is real. It's real information in the real universe. Yes, the pictures are enhanced or altered, or the colors are changed, but it's done for real scientific reasons, not just because we feel like it, and definitely not because we feel like making things up.
Now, they went on to talk about how everything comes to them in grayscale photos, and how they feel they have to enhance it because they do not want to bore the viewers.
Wait, what?
Meanwhile, they never showed us any grayscale images to assume that we will be bored with the real images of space. So they took it upon themselves to add color to it. Right off the bat. And this is the photos that the Lucifer telescope gets. And the Hubble fake camera up there. And I said that before. How does a cartoon camera take an image of another cartoon camera? What would you get? Would you get something real? Now, I can understand you trying to enhance the stars and the so-called galaxy, but how can you enhance a satellite? How come the photos of the satellites are not real? Why would you do that? How can you have a real image of the International Swim Station, but you can't have a real image of a satellite?
Drifting alone through the darkness of space, a small capsule traverses the void. On board, the two pioneers prepare for the next step of their voyage. Mere hours ago, history had been made. For the first time, astronauts had launched into orbit in a commercially built spacecraft, the first crewed launch from the United States in nearly a decade. Looking down from orbit, they carried the hopes and dreams of a whole world, knowing that this was just the beginning. Countless worlds would soon be explored, igniting a vibrant future amongst the stars. In today's Mars Mission Update, we're going to be taking a look at what comes next for human spaceflight after the first crewed Dragon launch by NASA and SpaceX. We'll cover the commercialization of low Earth orbit, the ongoing endeavours to build starships in Texas, the plan to return astronauts to the moon in a sustainable way, and finally how all these ingredients will enable the first human missions to the Red Planet.
Time out, dog. Now the luminary is a light, all right? That's the original meaning of the word. But here they have the archaic version of it. And the archaic version obviously no longer exists. So the sun does not give light. The moon does not give light according to the archaic version. Because the archaic version is a word that is, or subject that is no longer of everyday use. It's old-fashioned. They don't use it in that text or that meaning anymore. But what do you see? The sun and the moon, luminaries. Therefore Mars is a luminary. Can you land on the light? Can you live on the light? You cannot.
Yes, it's over, call it a day. Sorry that it had to end this way. No reason to pretend, we knew it had to end someday. This way.
That's right. Stay flat.